Never include a third person, especially a friend, to take advice from when you're in a relationship. Say for instance, I'm in a relationship and I ask my friend for advice. All I'm going to focus on and all I'm going to talk about is the bad things that happen in the relationship, because that's usually what happens. You usually talk about the negative when you're talking about two people and you forget the positives or leave the positives out. You're not going to tell the third person about the good, you're only going to tell the third person about the bad, and he's going to listen to that and give you advice like break up and leave. He's going to give you bad advice and you can't blame him because he's listening to the bad things you're telling him. And the same goes for the other half. If a girl talks to her girlfriend and says all the bad stuff, the girlfriend is gonna eventually say leave the guy. 99% of the time there's only negative talk from the third party, who's the friend. Both the parties are mature enough, both the parties are adults, both the parties can think for themselves. That's why they're in a relationship. Hence they shouldn't be taking advice from the third person. Include a third person in your relationship and you'll have another fight. Keep the fight to yourselves and you'll have a better relationship. You decide. A wise man once said, the only revenge that you can and should take on an ex-girlfriend is say goodbye politely, work on yourself, work hard, work as hard as possible for 5, 6, 7, 11 years. This is actually the 11-year story. Become the man that you want to become. Become the man that you should have become a long time ago. Become that high-value man. Become the high-value individual and be proud of yourself. I see the mistakes all of you guys are making out there, and I made that mistake too once. But trust me, through experience, I'm going to give you advice that serves forever. The best way to cope with the heartache is to focus on yourself, is to go to the gym on a regular basis. Become fit, become strong, mentally, physically. All you've got to start doing is think about yourself. Make yourself your primary focus. Focus only on you and your family, obviously. You should have been your primary focus in the first place, but it's okay, that didn't happen. Make it happen now. I'm not guaranteeing that that same girl will come back to you, but I guarantee that you'll get at least 100 other girls. But the basic moral is not to focus on them, it's to focus on yourself. Being fat is unacceptable unless you have a medical condition. So if you are sensitive, please skip through this video. If you're not and ready to listen to reality, then stay. Being fat is completely unacceptable unless you have a medical condition. It just basically means you're showing signs of laziness and you're not willing to get up and go to the gym and actually work out, actually lose that weight and look better. If you're not going to get up, if you're not going to work out, and if you're not going to take care of your own health, unfortunately nobody else is going to do it for you. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to be commenting down below saying that it's my choice if I want to be fat, but all of that is just excuses. Being overly fat is you not taking care of yourself and you spoiling your own health, and there's no reason anybody would want to be fat on purpose. And if you do not want to be fat, then get up, go to the gym, show up. If somebody doesn't look good, then calling them ugly is wrong. But if somebody is fat, calling them fat is completely okay, because at least that's going to motivate them to get up and actually go to the gym and show up and focus on their own health. So all you're doing is negatively motivating them, which is still motivation. Being born rich makes you lazy. So when somebody is born rich, they're born with a cushion under their head. They're not worried about where they're going to get their next meal. They're not going to focus on how to actually start earning money, because there is no value for money, because there's already enough and they don't know how hard it was to earn the money. I'm not trying to say everybody born rich is lazy, but most of the people I've seen are pretty much like that. Being born rich doesn't let you live up to your full potential, because you can be 100 or 100, but because you're lazy, because you think you have a lot of money, you're like a 40 or 100, possibly lesser than a 40 or 100, because you're not focusing on how you can earn, you're not focusing on how you can grow, because you think, oh, I'm comfortable, I have a nice cushion under me. That shouldn't be the case. The reason I'm making this video is not to criticize anybody who was born rich. I'm just trying to tell you guys, there is a lot more that you can do to expand what you already have. Never be happy and content with what you have. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say don't show gratitude for what you have, but I'm saying don't ever be happy with what you have, because the second you are happy with what you have, it means that's all you can have. My point is, rich or poor, work hard. Today's topic of conversation, lazy people. This is going to be a sensitive topic, so if you are sensitive, please skip through this video. If you're not and ready to listen to reality, then stay. All people focus on in today's day and age is why not to do something. They figure out excuses on why not to do it instead of focusing on how to actually get it done. I'll give you a small instance. So basically a few days ago, I posted on my story that I had a job opportunity and I needed people to work for me, under me, in a particular sales commission role. All they had to do was post stories and get leads and get commissions every time they made a sale. The excuses I received were along the lines of, I don't use social media too much. I know my followers, they won't buy any of this. It's too much work. I already have a job. I'm already making money. I've never done sales before. All of this is not lack of motivation. It's basically lack of discipline. This video is basically a reminder that you do not want to be any of these people. You have to focus on the right thing. You have to focus on doing as much as possible in an entire day and being as productive as you can, because you get 24 hours in a day and you're never getting those 24 hours back. Learn to prioritize. So I see this on a daily basis. I see people people who don't have their earning and cash flow straight and are worried about how many eggs are gonna be there in their pancakes. Like, where is your priority? Are you seriously focusing on how much protein you should be having when you're not even able to make enough money? You have to prioritize. You have to make sure that you're earning enough, you're earning well, you're able to live a good lifestyle. I'm not telling you not to go to the gym. I go to the gym. But you have to have your life in order while doing all of that. This is for a lot of you. The focus is not where it's supposed to be. It's on stupid stuff like there's a sale on that website. What should I buy today? What should you buy? And it's okay to focus on what to buy. But spending 2 hours to decide what to buy from a website, like, are you serious? How do you have that much time to focus on the wrong things which are not adding to your productivity at all, which are actually in fact making you lose productivity from what you're supposed to be doing? Choose the more important one for you, which I'm assuming is going to be earning, and then prioritize on that. Give that more time, and then you can think about how many scoops of protein powder is going to go into your protein shake. We're all in the matrix, and I'm going to try and explain this phrase to you within a minute. So say you tell your employee, I want you to do this, and he or she says no. You're obviously going to fire them. So now extrapolate that example out and think about how the rich have a lot of small companies and they literally own countries, and they're not going to want people who don't comply with them, who don't just agree with everything they say. They obviously don't want such employees, like how you didn't want the employee in your small company. And the reason everybody has to comply with them is because these people own all the resources, all the necessary resources like transport, like water. Everything's owned by them, like oil. All of it is owned literally by these big and rich people who literally own the world. They own the media, they own the information that's going out in the media, they print money, they literally have all the power. So they've actually tried very hard and actually been really successful to damage the human psyche and make every individual open to learn and to be programmed to be a slave and to work for them, under them, for a little amount of money for your time. So you first see what's happening, you understand what's happening, and then you get out of what's happening. That's the only way you're going to succeed. Motivation versus discipline. I'm sure you've heard this at least once or twice in your life. You ask your friend if he wants to join you to the gym and he says, no bro, I'm not motivated. You always need motivation, you can lack motivation. And there's a lot of times in life that you're not motivated because you don't see results. For example, I've also heard friends say, I've been going to the gym for 3 weeks but I don't see any results. I feel demotivated. Well, that's where the difference lies. If you have discipline, you will go to the gym every day regardless of the result, because you know the result is going to be there somewhere, someday. But if you lose motivation, then you stop going to the gym, you're never going to see those results. It's okay if you have discipline and lack motivation, because you're still going to get up, you're still going to do the same thing on a daily basis because you have the discipline to do it. The art of discipline is doing what you have to do on a daily basis, whether you want to do it, whether you like to do it or not. There's a lot of days that I didn't feel like showing up, but I still got up, I still showed up. So from me to you, don't feed on motivation, feed on discipline. Today's topic of conversation. Don't do things that can be outsourced on your own. This topic basically talks about how important delegating work is. So basically, outsourcing a task that can be done by somebody else, and somebody else is an expert in that task, will basically give you more time to do something that you are good at, so that you can focus your time on doing something you're good at instead of wasting time doing something you're not really good at and something that's basically not really that important to you. Outsourcing from something that's as small as getting coffee made and actually not doing it yourself is really important, because you're going to waste time doing something that's not really that important to you and somebody else can do it probably better than you can, to something as big as website designing. Say you have to make a website for your brand. Instead of you spoiling it and instead of you taking 10 days to make a particular website, if you give it to a company who can do it way better than you can, will probably finish it in 3 days and do a better job than you would have done if you did it yourself. Outsource what can be outsourced and prioritize and focus on doing what you're good at and do it as much as possible to be more successful for yourself. Today's topic of conversation. Life is a game of productivity. So basically the only way to reach the top of the ladder is to be as productive as you can in the entire day. And productivity is calculated by how much you can do in how much time. And you basically have to be the most productive and most efficient to be the most successful. So I highly suggest to prioritize and strategize everything that you need to do in a day. Give every task a particular time and complete the task on or before that particular time if you want to be the most successful. So if person A is more productive than person B, he's going to be more successful than person B. But if person B is more productive, he's going to be more successful. So basically everybody has the same 24 hours in the day. So you have to prioritize, you have to strategize, and you have to see what's more important for you to maximize productivity in your day to make you more successful. And there's obviously a slight parameter of discipline that comes into place, because to improve your productivity and to increase your productivity, you have to be disciplined and you have to follow the schedule that you've made for yourself. Maintain your discipline, maximize your productivity, and you will be successful. So in today's topic of conversation, I'm going to talk to you about how people in relationships get too comfortable. This is just most of what I've seen, and I'm sure most of what you have seen as well. So most of the people in relationships get very comfortable. The reason for this is because you know you have somebody to go back to. There's no challenge, there's nothing that you have to do on a daily basis to improve yourself, because you know that the person you're with is not going to leave, is going to be there, and that level of comfort and trust is actually bad. A good relationship is where both the partners work on each other, work on themselves, go to the gym, work out, focus on their careers and actually do something. But the majority of what I've seen is actually bad and negative. Most of the times what happens is the guy gets very comfortable, he stops working out because he knows he already has a girl, because you have no idea when the girl can leave you. I'm not trying to say she will, but if she does, you don't want to be fat and sitting on your sofa eating chips. Focus on yourself, focus on your growth, focus on how to earn, focus on your body, focus on everything that makes you the man that you want to be, because if people see you slacking off, they're going to use that opportunity to climb up there before you do. Today's topic of conversation: talent versus hard work. Quick answer: hard work beats talent in every possible way. So take for instance person A. He's one of the best actors and one of the best singers ever. Person B, not such a good singer, a decent actor, he's okay. Person A, lazy. Person B, very hard working. So the work the person B puts in to improve his talent and actually start making videos and posting them out there and actually getting people to know who he is and actually come to him and follow him is going to be way more than what person A does, because again, person A is lazy. So sometimes you don't feel like singing, sometimes you feel out of it, but you have to do it if you're good at it. If you're hardworking and you're consistent, you're gonna be successful even if you're not that good at what you do. So I've seen a very average singer get 100,000 plays on Spotify, and I've seen a very good singer not even have a song on Spotify, hence he has no plays, hence nobody knows him. So who would you rather be? The person who has 100,000 streams on Spotify, or the person who's very good at singing but has no streams, no plays, nothing, because he's too lazy to get up, make a video? Comment down below.